This is Jim Pratt, Mission 1 Coordinator, and I'm privileged to be here with Pastor Barry Cullen inside the sanctuary of the Providence General Baptist Church in Providence, Kentucky. Barry, glad you're willing to do this interview with me. How long have you been here at this church?
I've been here this month. On October 23rd, I celebrated my 32nd anniversary, so 32 years.
32 years. You look a little different today than you did when you started your first year?
Well, right now I'm hot because I just got
Yes,
through preaching.
yes.
But yeah, I do. I look older.
Older, just
Yeah.
a little more wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Barry, we're going to talk about your involvement internationally in a second, but Providence Church through the years, as we follow them, understand what it's like to be a missional church. So Barry, real quick, what's your church do to be involved in missions locally and nationally?
Well, locally, of course, some of our people work at the food bank here in town. Also, Diane Oakley, along with several people in our church, go to Nashville 2 or 3 times a year to take, especially during the winter, to take clothing to the homeless and food, and a sort of a national missions outreach to those people down there. Of course, I've been on several mission trips.
Let's go ahead and let's good segue there. How many mission trips have you been on internationally?
I've been to Philippines, I think probably 5 times. I've been to Honduras 3 times, and Mexico once. I think.
Okay, and so you've been at 3 of our international fields. What would you say all 3 of those fields have in common?
Well, all three of the fields, when you worship with those people, all of them like to worship.
Yes.
And you see more of a hunger. Not that our people are not hungry for God, but when you get in those third world countries, you see more of a hunger than you do with some of our people who take for granted what we're able to do, I think, and how to worship.
And so for you personally as pastor of the church here, it's not either local missions or national or international. You say it's all of its mission.
It's missions. And
Acts 1:8 in action.
yeah, and we've got several people in our church that have been on mission trips. I'm not the only one. We've got several that have. Robin, of course, was
Robin Todd.
Robin Todd. Robin Shoulders Todd was principal there at the Little Angel School for a few years. And Cecil Green, even before that, Cecil grew up in this church. His brother is still one of our honorary deacons. His sister was here. He later went on to White Oak when he became, a missionary, before he became a missionary. But this church, through the years, they've known about missionary efforts. They've known about missions, and they've cared about missions.
And so not only does the church preach in missions, but you're involved local, national, internationally, not only going, but also financially. It takes money to do missions, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And through the years, the church has helped me go on trips. Also, we've sent money when we could. And it takes money, and really, you've got to care about the work, and you've got to care about the mission field. And when it moves your heart, you're willing to do that.
Okay, so you have to care.
Mm-hmm.
And so for somebody that's watching that contemplating going on a mission trip, why should they go on a mission trip internationally? Why should they go?
For years, I was more interested in national missions than international. In fact, not that I didn't care about international missions, but that I didn't focus on it hardly any. But after I took my first mission trip, I took it to Honduras several years ago with Pauletta.
Mm-hmm.
Pauletta led a group, and I went with her team there. And once you experience that, and you experience those folks down there, and of course the kids there at Faith Home, but the pastors there
Yes.
in Honduras. When you go on a mission trip, it changed my perspective entirely. I won't be able to think the way that I used to think, because I've become more focused on missions, especially after going to the Philippines and being a part of that ministry over there. It just changes your mindset.
I appreciate you, Barry, sharing your heart. And again, if you would like to find out more information about going on a mission trip or even one of our other fields, you can email me at jim.pratt@generalbaptist.com. But Barry, After this COVID mess, that's what we call it. After
Yeah.
this COVID mess is over, do you ever want to go back internationally?
I want to go back, yes. I wasn't going to be able to go back this year, anyway, this year that we're in. But, yeah, my prayer is that I'll be able to. Maybe this next year will be
Hopefully so.
a time we can.
Thanks for your time, Barry.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.